afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Miss Brianne, and welcome back to Book Talk Wednesdays with Miss Brianne. The series where I give brief talks about the graphic novels and easy readers that the Children's Department has to offer here at the West Hampton Free Library, in hopes that we encourage you to visit us in order to check out these amazing books for yourself. Now, in this video, I'm continuing the book talks on the second half of the 4 graphic novels that were illustrated and formatted by Raina Telgemeier, and it's based off a very popular novel series. And if you caught my last graphic novel video, you guys know what I'm talking about. But well, last week I talked about books 1 and 2 of the Babysitters Club graphic novel series. And today I'm going to talk about books 3 and 4. And which were the last 2 books that were illustrated and created by Raina Telgemeier. And those books are Babysitters Club Book 3, Marianne Saves the Day, and Babysitters Club Book 4, Claudia and Mean Janine. Now, these are based off the original novels by author Anne M. Martin. So these are Anne M. Martin's stories, but it was formatted and illustrated by Raina Telgemeier and published by Graphix, which is an imprint of Scholastic Inc. Now, in Marianne Saves the Day, Marianne, the secretary, has always been very quiet, very shy, never really wanted to take charge in anything, was okay not being the leader. And that was okay for her because she could always depend on her 3 friends. But things change for Marianne when there's suddenly a fight amongst the 4 of them, and Marianne can't really rely on them right now. Which is hard, especially when she has to sit at lunch by herself during school. But when an emergency happens while babysitting and she can't rely on her friends to help, Marianne has to figure out what to do next. Then, in Claudia and Mean Janine, Claudia always feels like she's inferior to her older sister Janine, who's very smart, always does well in school, and her parents are always praising her. And Claudia feels like her family favors her sister over her. She also feels like her sister acts very stuck up and like a know-it-all. And Claudia is now looking forward to summer vacation when school is over and she's stuck at home for most of the day. The only thing that really cheers her up is helping to run the summer day playgroup that her friends at the Babysitters Club are running. However, things change drastically for Claudia when her beloved grandmother suddenly falls ill. Now, I was always a reader of the original novels as a kid, and I've always thoroughly enjoyed these novels. I always enjoyed them. I loved the action. I loved the characters. I loved the situations they were in. I mean, the only thing I had an issue with was they never really aged past the 7th grade, but that was kind of part of the fun. But these graphic novels are a great way to introduce those older elementary and tween readers to the actual novels themselves. And the readers can actually see what's going on. They don't really have to picture it. And Raina Telgemeier formats the story in such a way that the action always flows along nicely. But like I said, these were the last 2 graphic novels that she created and somebody else are creating the artwork for the future Babysitters Club graphic novels. But in any event, it's a great read. I highly encourage the older children to read it. And the only other issue is it is geared mostly towards girls. But other than that, it's still a great read. I give this 5 out of 5 stars, and I strongly recommend it to older elementary students or tweens who want to look at the graphic novels first before transitioning into the actual books themselves. And this is Miss Brianne, and thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next week.